Hello. Chainsaw Man chapter 137 just dropped, and we are here to talk about it. Um, okay, so let's get right into it. To start it off, the title of this chapter is called. Let me copy and paste it so I can read it. Uh, So the title of this chapter is called "Choo Choo Lovely Moony Moony Mura Mura," which is a song by Maximum the Hormone. They you might know them from doing the screamo songs from Death Note, and they also did one of the openings, well, not the openings, one of the endings for Chainsaw Man's anime. I believe it's the fourth ending, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to go ahead and link this song in the chat. Um, right, so that's the title of this chapter because that's what the girl sings in the karaoke bar. And I don't really think there's that much deep meaning behind the song. It's kind of the lyrics are kind of about the sexualization of like, well, not exactly the sexualization, but like the how young people can be horny at times. Um which is, one of the lyrics, one of the lines just like have the singer screaming sex, and one of the last lines just be like, "Oh, college student's good, a high school student's good, a middle schooler's good, and an elementary student's good." So just about like the sexualization of, not exactly the sexualization, but it's like the sexual activeness of young people is what I think, or is what I see like the meaning of the song is. But anyways, let's get down to, instead of talking about kids, let's talk about the summary of the chapter. Because this is really one of my favorite chapters of part two. I would say right now, like, it might be recency bias, but this is, I would say, like, a top five chapter of the whole series for me. Um, but anyways, summary of the chapter while I get screenshots. So, the girl, while touching Denji's peepee, she, asked him to lick the dead devil in the front of the theater. And in exchange for that, she would fuck Denji. And, Denji, he has at first we're kind of led to believe that Denji, he's matured. He's kind of talking through it with her to let her know that he's not this gullible little boy anymore. He's not going to do what she wants. And he has some semblance of dignity, right? And then it turns out that like the whole mature Denji is just his imagination. It's all part of his inner monologue. And this is particularly funny to me because I was just working on a video about how smart and mature Denji is, and I thought I had something going. And this could be like, oh, the perfect timing for me to show off my insane character analysis of Denji's growth and maturity. But then he pulls this shit. So I love it regardless. Um, but yeah, anyways, Denji goes to town on the tentacle of the devil. He licks it, he fondles it, he carasses it with his tongue, and then he fucking deep throats the whole thing. Um, I mean, Confucius once said, right, if you're gonna do something, you have to do it with your whole heart. You have to do it seriously, and that's what Denji is doing. He's sucking on the tentacle with all of his might. And this pleases the girl. She is very entertained by what he's doing. So she takes him to a karaoke bar where she claims that they could, have sex in. And one thing about labels in this, brands and labels in the series, is that Fujimoto, he tries to find, like, he finds a lot of excuses to put his name on, like, in various places of the series whenever he can. So this time we got Karaoke Fujimoto. Let me get rid of the other pictures because those are not needed anymore. So we still haven't gotten the name of the girl yet, but Denji and this girl, they go to the karaoke bar where she proceeds to sing the aforementioned Maximum the Hormone song. And for the most parts, the lyrics are nonsensical, which is reflective of, how teenagers sometimes think. No offense to any teenagers that might be watching this. I love Denji's face here. Part 2 has given us a lot of great reaction faces. But regardless, Denji is actually having a good time. He's enjoying her passion and enthusiasm for metal. And that's generally what metal is like, right? Because sometimes music really isn't about how good you sing. It's about how much fun you're having, how much passion you're putting into your voice. But anyways, Denji then gets ganked by a bunch of guys with baseball bats. And Denji, I feel like people aren't talking about this part enough. I know the chapter's been out for like not even an hour yet, but going through glancing through some of the Reddit comments, I feel like not enough people is talking about the fact that Denji, he just beat up like 20 guys with baseball bats with his bare hands. So right now, Denji is like a fucking martial arts expert. He's just demolishing everyone. Right, anyways, like, a bunch of guys line up to attack him with baseball bats. And, Denji just beats the fuck out of all of them with his bare hands. And while this girl is still doing her Maximum the Hormone karaoke in the background. So this is definitely one scene that I feel would be leveled up by the anime in maybe like 2030 when the episode comes out. But anyways, you got a bunch of guys lining up to gangbang Denji with baseball bats. More screenshots. Okay, so one thing I want to mention before we get any further is that I feel this scene might be a reference to the hallway fight from Old Boy. If you guys ever seen that movie, it's a Korea movie, and I believe there's like a remake with American remake with, I believe, Josh Brolin and someone else, also very famous in it. And in that scene, there was the protagonist also fights like a bunch of guys with baseball bats. And similarly, the scene kind of ends in like a similar angle. Let me grab a screenshot of the scene too. Give me a quick second. I'll post a link to the chat for the scene I'm talking about as well. Give me a quick 15 seconds. I don't know how to pin messages on in chat. If any of you know how to pin messages in OBS, let me know. But anyways, the scene kind of ends with Denji just beating all of them up and then smiling towards the girl who's about to fight him one-on-one with a baseball bat as well, it seems. But before we get into that, this is the scene from Old Boy. Oh, that's huge. And this is the scene from this chapter. You have, well, it's a couple different panels, so it's not like an exact one for one. But Denji kind of leaves a bunch of bodies in his wake as he, you know, fucks them up with his baseball bat. And then he smiles towards the camera at the unseen doorway that's not caught in the camera. And honestly, I would argue that this might be one of Denji's more badass moments in the whole series. Because the other moments he's usually either had like Pochita's powers or other devil powers to assist him, right? But this time he just beats everyone up on his own. And that's you know, Denji, he's fucking sick. What can I say? But anyways, so I feel that might be the reference, the movie reference of the chapter here. Because Fujimoto often does a lot of, well, maybe not a lot, but he sometimes does movie references when he do action scenes. Like that one fight with Quan Chi and Yoshida in part 1. That was like a nod to the Raid 2, which is an Indonesian action movie. They did like a little pose where they're standing like right in front of each other with their arms crossed. I think the newest Street Fighter also made that one of the characters' specials. But anyways, the chapter ends with Denji and the new girl facing off with a baseball bat in hand, and she's about to fight Denji directly. So not a whole lot of answers this chapter, but I don't mind, surprisingly, because, you know, this is actually the type of chapter that I enjoy most of all, where like a lot happens, but at the same time, it's like not a whole lot is explained. There's just so much info here. Not exactly like info for progressing the story, but like info more for digesting, you know, what Fujimoto's doing. It's like a unique Fujimoto thing, I would say. But anyways, this is how the chapter ends. Denji is about to beat up a girl with a baseball bat. But yeah, anyways, back to the story progressing questions. There's not a whole lot other than the first thing that comes to my mind is, did Yoshida set Denji up? And the immediate response is probably. But at the same time, it's like, it's completely contradictory to what Yoshida has been doing up to this point. And Denji, he's, you know, he's keeping his side of the bargain. Or not exactly a bargain, but like he is complying to Yoshida's threat by not turning into Chainsaw Man when he's fighting these 20, 30 guys with baseball bats. So it's like, is this a test to see if Denji is, willing to just not turn into Chainsaw Man, even when his life is in danger? Um, and the girl's motivation just seems different from Yoshida's motivations up to this point. So it's like, I don't know if they have the same goals. Um, ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. And let's see. So, I don't know what to make of her so far. I think the consensus among the fan base is that she is like a devil, and that seems to be the case. She's at least confident enough in her strength that she's willing to fight Denji, who just beat up like 30 guys with, by himself, like in a one-on-one fight. She's willing to do that with him. So I don't know, because last week I was leaning towards that she's just like a crazy person, right? But this week she seems, you know what? I'm gonna stick with my guns and say that she is still just like a crazy, normal human being. Because I don't know if Fujimoto's gonna keep dropping devil characters. Ba ba ba. Is she human? Question mark. I'm still kind of leaning yes, but I wouldn't, I'm not gonna be surprised. I know it's like a more unpopular opinion. Well, unpopular is a strong word, but it's a more niche opinion. But there's also the fact. There's also the fact that like where did the 30 guys come from, right? Because this is all like really well thought out. So it's like, are the 30 guys all mind controlled? Are they part of the Chainsaw Man cult? Or are they something else? It's like, why are there 30 guys coming over to beat up Denji? I wouldn't be surprised if the 30 guys are like never mentioned again, but I really want to know like why are there 30 guys? Why 30 guys? Because we're not going to find out who all 30 guys are. Da, 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 da. But yeah, so about the girl. So far, she's just having fun and enjoying herself. So this whole scenario, it's not that serious. I don't think yet, even though she is very sketchy. Let me see if there's any info we can get about her. Oh, right. So, I know it's the lyrics, but one of the lines was, it's the lyrics to the real song, but one of the lines, as Denji is fighting some of the guys, is the justice game and lust slave, uncontrollable desire. So this, off the top of my head, that kind of makes me think that they are also kind of contracted with the Justice Devil as well. Because the Justice Devil has been a recurring background villain for really a lot of part 2 so far. So these 30 guys may have been just contracted with the Justice Devil as well. Justice. devil. Ba, 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 ba. All right. Let's see. But yeah, Denji, easily beats up the 30 guys. And some of them he did not go easy on because he just straight up like smacked some of them over the head with it. So there's a chance that Denji may have just killed a bunch of people with his not quite his bare hands, but with the baseball bat. He smacked the fuck out of this guy. And let's see. But yeah, despite being a pretty action heavy chapter, there's not that much that happened in the grand scheme of things. Let me see. While we're at it, let me check if there's going to be a chapter next week. There is. There is. Where is there? Next chapter is going to come out on the 8th. Oh, okay, so there's no chapter next week. I had to look at the calendar to verify. So next chapter is 2 weeks from now. But yeah, overall, very, very fun, goofy chapter with a pinch of badassness from Denji. And, that's really what I do like about Chainsaw Man. It's Fujimoto's talent to like blend a bunch of different feel to the same chapter. It's like back when Fujimoto kind of mind broke us with the Pochita reveal. And then the next chapter, Pochita is like hanging out with Kobeni in the burger shop. Just peak expectation subversion. Let me see what else I can talk about this chapter. I guess that's about it for things that happened this chapter, I suppose. Ba ba ba. All right, that's it for me for this chapter. I'll see you guys in about 2 weeks, I guess.